So in this lucid dream, I became lucid in a dream version of this house while watching TV, and I actually almost immediately remembered to try doing the finger through hand thing. Uh, didn't work. Probably because I've only ever tried to do it in waking life, and I did that about a million times. So the idea of it not working is probably just like really sunk into my mind. And I've never been good at walking through walls or phasing through anything anyways, so it makes sense that it's not a really good reality check for me. So after that, I left the house. I didn't actually have to leave through a window, like I didn't have to open the window or leave through a door. I guess the wall just kind of disappeared. And so I saw some flower beds and it looked like there was snow in them. And I was pretty excited about that because I live in Texas and I've only ever seen snow a handful of times. When I got over there, it just turned out that they were white flowers. They just looked white and they had the texture of snow, which it's a dream, so it could have been snow before and then just turned into flowers. But I was alright with it. They were still pretty cool looking flowers. But then I kind of lost my sight and I wanted to make sure the whole dream didn't change. I didn't want a whole change of scenery, so I decided to bend down and just feel the ground with my hands in order to stay there and then try to regain my vision. However, while I was doing that, I heard some footsteps and I was apprehensive. I expected it to be a scary guy. So I just flew away. And obviously, it's not a problem to fly blind because to dream, you can't get hurt. So as I was flying, the dream changed, and so now I was in my bed, and I was able to remove the sleep mask from over my eyes. I've been using a sleep mask while I sleep and while I meditate too. So now I could see again, but I could only like half see, kind of like one of my eyes was still blind. So I decided to just move on with the dream and focus on the dream rather than focus on the quality of my vision, because usually when I do that, my vision clears up pretty quick. So I left my room and then I didn't recognize the hallway. There were a bunch of like cartoon alien heads, glow in the dark alien heads, just dotting the walls of the hallway. So I walked down the hall, and the rest of the house looks like a stranger's house too. Although it kind of looked like my dad's old house. So I tried to open the front door with hand motion commands, like I usually do, like just a flicking motion to open it. Tried that a few times and it didn't work. I actually had pretty bad control in this dream. Um, but after trying that for a while, I realized that I hadn't tried to just open the door like a normal person, because usually that doesn't work. But this time I was just able to open the door. The knob didn't turn, it was stuck, but it was as if the door was already like ajar, so I just pushed it open. So it worked out. So I walk out of the house, it's nighttime, and so I fly away. I didn't remember to try just not flying in order to help the dream be more stable. But I did remember to do reality checks regularly throughout this lucid dream. I was doing one like every minute or two. Pretty much every time there was a little change of scenery at all, or anytime I moved to a new place or did something new. It's pretty often, and that definitely helped to make it a longer one. Anyways, didn't remember not to fly, so I flew, and I was singing Home by Bon Iver. I still haven't checked if that's the real artist of that song, but I started singing that song in order to make the dream get brighter, but that didn't work. I'll talk more about why I think I didn't have much control after I finish the story. So yeah, and also the control of my flight was bad too. So as I'm trying to fly and make the dream brighter, there's a group of like people in their 20s hanging out in front of the house just talking, and one of them sees me and points me out, and he's like, "You guys see that?" And I didn't reply, but in my head, because you don't need to talk to dream characters unless you want to, right? I didn't want to, but in my head I was thinking, "Yeah, you're in a dream," and I don't remember if I was saying that kind of like jokingly, because obviously it was my dream, not his, or if I was really thinking that he had his own consciousness and was also in a dream. I think I was just, joking around with myself just to have a little chuckle. So then I have another false awakening, and thankfully I remembered to do a reality check after that. That's another thing I've been trying to do. So I did that and saw that I was still in a dream. And so I walk over to the window, continuing to sing the song Home. And the window, the blinds are closed and the curtains are closed. But it looks like the sun is starting to come up. you know how the light kind of still peeks through. And so I try opening the blinds and the windows with my little flicking command. And it doesn't work at first, but I kind of try it again with like a more stern, more confident facial expression. And that gets them to open, but then they kind of fall back down. So I kind of have to, like, this is for the blind specifically, so I had to like do this with like a firm like facial expression, not like that, less silly. And then I kind of had to hold my hands there for a second just to make them stay there. And I ended up managing to get them open. And outside was just outer space, like just deep space. And you could see the stars. It wasn't cool. It was kind of scary. Some people have a fear of the ocean just because it's just vast, deep, unknown, treacherous space. And some people have a similar fear of just deep space. Like, I guess you just imagine it, and I'm sure if you're just floating in the space between planets or the space between stars, it would be pretty scary because you're just alone and it's all just darkness all around you except for the stars, which are way too far for you to reach. Even if you had a jetpack, you would never reach it in your lifetime. I typically don't think that way about space, but being in this situation, looking outside my window and just seeing deep space definitely felt like that for a second. But eventually the stars in the distance, I keep moving my hands a lot, which I think is a good thing, so I guess I'll go with it. Eventually the stars in the distance turn into magnets, with just a red and a blue end, just magnets floating in space. And I saw the yin yang symbol out there in the distance too. Pretty small, kind of the size of one of those magnets, maybe like 3 or 4 times that size. It was the yin yang symbol, but the dots were not there. It was just the black side and the white side without the little black dot in the white side and the white dot in the black side. And at this point, I was trying to get the window open. I had opened the curtains and the blinds, but I hadn't yet opened the window itself. And it was just space outside, but with magnets. And I was feeling already kind of mentally drained by just struggling with this dream for as long as I had been at this point. So I decided that if I do wake up, I decide not to dream chain. I decide not to try to go back into a lucid dream. And pretty much at the moment that I thought that, I actually woke up. So that's pretty good. I think the reason I had such bad control over this dream was probably because I had a pretty rough day yesterday again. Because I also had a pretty poorly controlled lucid dream a few lucid dream logs ago, maybe 2, and mentioned that I had had a rough day the previous day as well. I think it makes sense that if throughout the day you're struggling with negative thoughts, I guess it would then make sense that in a dream you're struggling as well. Because in a lucid dream, the only thing there besides you is, your subconscious, which is still just you. So you're there in your mind, and if your mind is troubled, it makes sense that the lucid dream would be troubled. And that last time I mentioned that I don't have bad days that often, which is true. It's just that most of them tend to be within the holiday season. You're probably not going to see this video until like the day after or 2 days after Christmas. But for me, it still hasn't been Christmas yet. Today's like the 22nd for me. So I'm sure that after the holiday season, I'll kind of get back into the groove of things and be able to just maintain a good mood throughout the days. A couple other things. So every night I tried to fall directly into a lucid dream after wake back to bed, and it hasn't actually worked. One time it did work, but I thought that it didn't work. So I was in a dream but not lucid. So one thing that I've been doing is, as I'm laying there trying to fall directly into the dream, when I decide to just like give it a rest for the night and let myself become lucid some point in the middle of the dream, I just do a reality check to make sure that I didn't actually fall into a dream without knowing it. And I'm also doing that whenever I try to dream chain, because the other day I tried to dream chain and fell back into a dream but thought that it didn't work, so it just became a regular dream rather than a lucid dream again. So yeah, now whenever I try to dream chain and I think it didn't work, just reality check just in case. And I think that's pretty much it for this lucid dream log. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.